So it's definitely still wet and gross and rotten. It doesn't look as rotten on the sides. Just this little bit in the middle here, but definitely rotten and gross. What's up, guys? Welcome out to another beautiful morning. It would be a beautiful day if it wasn't for what we had to do today. I am on my way to the scraper tractor to head down to scrape all the rotten water and crap out of the front of the potato cellar that is rotting. And then, he's gonna hit me. And then we're gonna be washing rotten potatoes today. Hopefully it goes well. They are, the front of the cellar at least does not look good. But I'll show you guys the cellar in a minute when I get down there with our little scraper tractor. Let's get rolling. There we go. Smell awesome. It smells pretty nasty. But there's just a little bit of water. I don't know how much water, but there's some water in the front of the cellar that I am going to back in and kind of scrape out so the scooper has more traction, not so much mud to deal with. That's a few inches of water. It's pretty nasty. And it smells nasty. You guys, the camera's steaming up. Oh yeah, that is not ideal. We're gonna try and scrape this out of here. Nice and smelly. Almost got me. Much left in there now. We got it, I think. All this water. There's a ton of water in there, but I got it all scraped out and there's no water running out from underneath the pile, so that's good. But it also looks like it's only the front that's rotten. Because if you look at the top of the pile, the front dips down like it's sinking because it's rotten. And then the back, it kind of picks back up. We're hoping that it's only this front, maybe 20 feet. If we got like 10 loads out of here, with 10 semi-loads out of here, it'd probably be pretty good. But I can see that the floor is dry where I was scraping right here. I have a little puddle over here, a little puddle over here, but it's not running out of the pile. So that makes me feel pretty good that the water was just up here in the front and not clear back in the potatoes. But it also doesn't look too, like, it looks pretty dark over here. And there's actually some dry spots. I can walk back in here in a minute. See, this is like dry. But this is dark, so that's rotten. But then over here doesn't look too bad. I don't know. It's gonna be who knows what it's gonna look like when we actually get into it. But even having these doors open, I've had these doors open all weekend and the fan's on. It's still, like, it's 40 degrees outside and it's probably 60, 70 degrees in here. So it's definitely warmer in the cellar. But we're hoping we can get a bunch of loads out of here today. I want like 10 loads, but it's not really up to me, it's up to the processor. But yeah, this is what we're gonna be working with today, is washing these rotten potatoes, and hopefully once we get back 20, 30 feet, it won't be too bad. But there's only one way to find out. We gotta start washing them. So I'm gonna head back to the shop and see if we can figure out how many loads we're getting today and when the trucks are gonna come, get their scooper pulled in, and see what we can do. I also got to wash my boots off because they're gonna smell real good. Stuff is nasty. It stinks. All the houses around here probably hate us because we're just making it really stinky around here. We just got back to the shop. Tried to go in the shop, and our lock is dead, and we can't find the hide key that we had. So we're gonna get a hammer and just break this whole thing off. We gotta get in our shop somehow. Wasn't too hard to break in. That was a lot easier to get into than it should have been. We might have to do something else on the next time. But that's not gonna work anymore. So we're going to be washing 2 loads today is all they want. Then they're gonna test them, run through their plant, and then tomorrow hopefully we'll wash a bunch more loads. And then they're taking 4 loads out of the cellar next to it that are good, and they're gonna take those to their other plant. So hopefully we can get a bunch of loads out and they start to look better, but I don't know. The front of that cellar doesn't look very good. But I am on my way out. I have to go start some wheat pivots and some solid set. So that's what I'm gonna go do while they're hopefully loading up and bringing us a truck that we can wash. Here's the first one. Okay. I need to shut off. Looks like they ran the hand lines. Shut off the hand lines. And I have to turn a valve and flip a switch over there. And then I can turn this pivot on. I should have come and sprayed all these weeds because they're kind of getting a little out of hand, but it's a little late for that. They're already 5 feet tall, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Turn off this one. See if I can get it to close all the way. There we go. And then flip a switch. So this thing will run with the pivot. And start. Should kick on in just a minute. There it goes. We'll get her running. Man, this wheat is getting tall. There's always one that I have to go flip the little spinner on. All right, this one is going. This is nice wheat. I'm out here at another field of potatoes that's been going around good, but I don't think our fertilizer pump is pumping because we've only down like an inch, which is about 20-25 gallons. So I'm gonna turn this fertilizer pump and see if I can get this thing to start pumping more. Well, I turned it up all the way, so hopefully it'll actually start pumping something. This field needs fertilizer. The other thing I have to check on this pivot, or on this pump, is the drip oil. I gotta walk out across this rickety bridge, see if there's oil in here. Oh yeah, it's clear full. Clear full of oil, and see if it's dripping. It's not really dripping. I'm gonna mess with this a little bit. There we go. Now it's dripping. You gotta make sure the drip oil is working, or you'll end up ruining your pump. And we already did that once. I don't want to do it again. Granted, that pump was not ruined because we let it run out of drip oil. That pump was just ruined because of, I don't even know. It was very worn out, so I'm not entirely sure why, but it was bad. Out here in another field, my pivot's going, so that's good. But I know that both of these pumps need some drip oil, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. Good to go, on to the next one. Also, I need to come grease that pump, but I don't have a grease gun with me right now. This field, I have to shut the pivot off, turn the solid set on, and get my fertilizer pump going. I still have not figured out how to get this thing to stop leaking. Still just leaking a little bit of water out from under this pipe. Cannot get it to stop. But start with this one. Well, I turned the pivot off and then turned the hand lines on, and I noticed there was a geyser out here in the field. Looks like there was an air relief right here, and it just broke the pipe and blew the air relief off. That's fun. Now I have to go shut the ditch off and go get the backhoe. And I have another problem to fix today. Seems like unexpected things happen all the time on the farm. Well, now I have more jobs to do. Luckily we have a new pipe. I just have to take all this apart. I just took this off and try and get it replaced. Okay. I'm gonna try to repair it without having to dig it up with the backhoe. So I've got new riser with the top on it, the air relief, pipe wrench, chain wrench, shovel. I'm gonna go try and just dig down a little bit, see if I can get onto the broken piece of the riser that's still there, unscrew it, and see if I can just screw the new one down in there. As long as the hole doesn't like cave in, I'm okay. If the hole caves in, well, then we'll need the backhoe. But I'm gonna try the easy way versus getting the backhoe out there and digging a giant hole in the field. So let's go try the easy way. Oh, well now we have a problem. The ditch is so full that the water is coming out of that. So I gotta go shut the valve off at the pump so the water won't run down here. Because when this one breaks, yes, I shut the ditch off, but it takes 4 hours. So we've got 4 hours of water. Now I'm almost stuck. We've got 4 hours of water in the ditch. So it's just gonna overflow for a while until I get this fixed. So I gotta turn the valve off and hopefully that solves our problems. We got water running all over the place. Hopefully this valve will stop the water from just flowing down the main line. I'm gonna grab my shovel real quick and see if I can stop some of this leakage. All right, well, at least I got that little waterfall stopped. Still just leaking out all over the place. It's leaking over here, just flooding the end of the field. But there's really not a whole lot I can do about that right now. I just gotta get this going again. Okay, well, at least the water stopped leaking. Let's see if I can get some of this stuff out of the way. Oh boy, that's really heavy. Really heavy to do one-handed. I'm gonna get this dug up and see if I can get the new one put in. Hopefully it goes well. So I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse. Well, I'm starting to hit big cobble rocks, and I think I still have another 1.5 feet to dig. So I think I'm just gonna call Trevor and have him bring the backhoe out and we'll dig it up. I am kind of worried that the main line's broken too, but hopefully it's just a riser. I can see the riser is cracked all the way to the bottom. So I don't know if it goes into a metal riser T or if it's, I don't know what it is. So we will find out, but I'm gonna call Trevor because my hole just keeps filling up with water and I'm just digging in cobble rocks. So we'll get the backhoe out here and see what we can do with that. Well, I came down to the pivot center because I heard the pivot was still going and I backed into a mud hole. Now I think I've got the Ranger stuck. It's pretty buried. Luckily Trevor's come with the backhoe. He has a chain. I didn't think I would get stuck out here because it's really not that wet. There must just be a little leak and it just really saturated the ground. I got out. Whew! That was quite a mud hole. Gotta avoid that thing with all costs. And this Ranger sucks. Never buy a Polaris Ranger. They are the absolute freaking worst. Grinding gears, slipping belts, taking drive lines out. They suck. We will never buy another one. And it's also gutless as can be. Whew, barely got out of that thing. Trevor's here with the backhoe. Let's go fix this thing. Okay, Trevor is out here with the backhoe, dug a hole, and now we're gonna try and get this, finish getting this thing dug out and replaced. Okay, we got it. I don't know if you saw there in the time lapse, but when it slipped, me and Trevor just fell over. But Trevor's gonna just kind of push this in. I'm gonna hold this so it doesn't break as he's pushing it. And then we'll be good to go, we'll be done. I'm tired, if you can't tell by my breathing. Whew, that thing did not want to come off. All right, that should do it. Now let's see if Trevor can get out of here without getting stuck. Granted, it's almost impossible to get a backhoe stuck because he can just push himself out. There he goes. And I did pick up my pipe out of the field. So, one problem fixed. Now I can go turn the ditch back on and start up the pivot again. So, let's go do that. I need to open this back up Try not to fall in the process. There. I need to close this back down because I don't have a time clock for this pivot. I'll have to start the hand lines tomorrow. Now, all I have to do is hit this pump button and hopefully, whoa, okay, all right. I saw a little bit of water spurt out there in the middle, but it didn't blow up. So the pivot is now turning on. Once it gets full of water, I'll set it to go, and then I'll go open the ditch back up. You come out here to do one thing, big problem happens, completely turns into everything else, changes all your plans. Man, you have to be able to adapt to different situations for sure as a farmer, because everything is constantly changing. There it is, the water's almost to the end. End gun should be, there it is, there's the end gun kicked on. So it's full of water, full pressure. I'm a little curious because when that riser broke, I was a little nervous, and I'm still a little nervous that it broke the main line. Because if it was enough pressure to break that riser, I would expect it would be enough pressure to break the main line. But the riser did screw into a metal T, so my fingers are crossed that it is not broken. But I don't see anything leaking out here. I do hear a hissing though, so let me go check it. I just hear a slight hiss. I don't know if I don't have the cap on tight enough or something. That's my hope. Okay, so it's just water leaking out around, or air leaking out around the threads is all. I may not have this cap on quite tight enough. We're just gonna let it run and see what happens. It'll probably just leak out just a little bit of water when it gets water here, but it must just have some air there. Well, I just tightened it up. I decided I should probably shut the pivot off, tighten it up, so I'm not leaking all over the place when it does get pressure. So now I'm on my way to turn the pivot back on, and we'll see if it's leaking. Awesome, it's not leaking now. Can't hear any air, don't see any water. Good to go, let's go open the ditch. Woo! Well, here's the ditch. We gotta get it turned on, or else that pivot is gonna run out of water. Okay, this pivot should be good to go. On to the next thing. I still have some pivots to turn on, but the trucks have started to arrive with the rotten potatoes. So we have a truck. So I'll go show you what these kind of look like going into the bin, and then I'm gonna run out, start my pivot up, and then we'll come back and wash these, because it'll take them a little while to get them unloaded. It'll take even longer to wash them, so yeah, let's go look at these. Looks yummy.
Yeah. You can just take a sample with you. Grab a couple armfuls.
Those look like delicious potatoes. Mudding up everything. There are some good potatoes in there.
Yeah, there are. You put about halfway in, there's a bunch of dry ones, so you got pockets.
So we'll get these washed up and all clean and get all the rot out of them, and they'll be pretty good. Now we have to get this truck unloaded before we can wash, because we're gonna load him back up. But honestly, there are a lot of rotten ones. So the last load we sent in, they said was 30 to 40% rot, but a lot of it that looks, it's just mud. So hopefully we can wash a lot of it off and it'll be okay. I have one thing to do on my pivot. I have to unplug the irrigation spot where we put the fertilizer in, because I can't get the plug out. So I'm going to attempt to get it out. I'm going to heat it up red hot and see if I can pull the plug out. I need to do it real quick because I want to get back to see what these potatoes look like when they're washed. I don't really want to miss that. So we'll hurry. So this is the little plug I've been fighting. So I've got torch, hammer, vice grip. We're gonna try and get this off. I want to get it tight as physically possible. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna be tight enough. Let's give it a little tap and see how it comes. It's turning! Can't be tight if it's a liquid. Perfect. Now, this is the chemigation valve. So this side, the yellow side, goes in the hole, and then your chemical comes in here and it pumps it in. There's a spring here so the water can't get out. So it's a chemigation valve. You just hook your tank to it. I don't know if this is too hot to put it in yet. Will it melt? Oh yeah, still a little too hot. I may get some water and cool this thing off. I think it's good now. Cooled it down with a little bit of water. This just threads right in. Just like that. And we're done. Just in time, the ditch is full enough to turn this pivot on. Now I have to drive through that in a big heavy truck with road tires. I'm in four-wheel drive. I'm just gonna go bombing through it. If I can just get through that, it's clear the whole way out. We're going for it. Going for it. Oh my goodness. Woo, we made it. Okay, should be clear all the way to the pivot now. As long as I avoid that side, we should be just fine. I don't know why, but I feel like I've done this a dozen times today. Pump. Do we have water? We've got water. It's flowing. Okay, now set that to move, and it is moving. Now we can go wash some rotten potatoes. I just have to make it back through this spot. Just don't stop, just don't stop. Just keep going. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Woo, we made it. Barely. That was close. We went in kind of a hole and just about got stuck. This thing has road tires on it. When they wear out, we're putting mudders on this thing because it goes in fields like this one that are kind of wet and muddy. Okay, we're back at the shop and we are about to start washing some taters. Oh, there it goes. Slow and steady. Turn this guy on. A little rocker. Shake him a little bit. Turn the speed up a little to get them to the edge. So many flies. There. Now we're gonna start washing. One problem we were having is it's mudding up all of our rollers up here because they're so muddy. So hopefully we have a hose here, so we've been spraying it off. So hopefully we can keep that under control, but yeah, it is kind of nasty. They should be getting into this thing. Let's see how this is doing. has to get full enough that it pushes them out. See, when they come out, they don't look too bad. A few bad ones, but most of the rock's been ground off. We might have to take this end plate off because they're not wanting to flow. I wonder if we just take this plate off, but I don't know, because right now it just bunches them up and they're not really getting very clean. I don't know. Well, we got it going again. I don't know why it just like bunched up and the potatoes wouldn't come out. Maybe we were putting too many in there. I have no idea. I forgot to turn the elevator on. Should be good now. Go see how this looks now. See if they're how they're washing. It just doesn't want to spit them out very well. They just keep overloading it because they don't want to go. I don't know. Maybe we're running it too fast. I have no idea.
I pulled it down one knob.
Maybe. I'm going to slow this down some more. Just barely moving now. It's at the slowest speed that it can go. Okay, this is as slow as it can possibly go. We just have to have somebody right here standing here to watch it. Because if everything starts to overload, we have to hurry and shut this off and shut that off. If that bin starts to, if the tumbler starts to slip. The only other option is we take that plate off the end and just run it without that. Might be our only other choice. We slowed all this stuff down. I think it might be working now. We just have to run it really slow. So these potatoes are kind of gross. Now it seems to be working right. Starting to get them loaded. The water's running off right here. This thing's all full and plugged up, so I'm going to spray it off with the nozzle. Oh, that's better. At least for a minute. It'll get plugged up again, but if the water goes down in that bin, it runs out the side over there, which is better. But then we don't have a big muddy mess right here. So we think we may have figured out the drum wasn't sped up as fast as it could go, and that's kind of why it was bunching up. So we just turned it back on, so we're gonna watch it closely and see how it does. Looks like we need to spray it off again. Plugs up really fast. Slow out. Come on. There, it's starting to kick them out. It's like they just don't want to flow out. It has this little plate on the end to kind of hold them back so they'll tumble, but I don't know. The plate doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot other than just holding them up. We just need them to flow through a little bit better. Okay, we took the end plate off because they just bunched up and kept wanting to flip it. So let's see how it works now. We can lift this bin up if it looks like they're not getting clean. I mean, it looks like they're getting clean. They look clean to me. They're definitely tumbling around in there pretty good. But now they're not bunching up, so it's actually spitting them out. I feel like it's actually doing a better job now. It's all trial and error. I mean, when you look at the potatoes that are going in, look like that. Really muddy, mostly mud. There are some rotten ones. Just really muddy and sticky. And then the potatoes that are coming out, look a lot better. See, like this one was really rotten on the outside. It ground all the rot off. So all the ones that had rot on them, it kind of grinds the rot off. They look a lot better, that's for sure. Still not perfect, but better. Well, we've almost got him loaded. Don't have much left, and he'll be full. We're hoping that once they get about 10 loads out of that cellar that we'll be into a better spot. It looks like the front of the pile is definitely the worst. So, but they only took 2 loads today. They're gonna run these and see how they look and then possibly take more tomorrow. But there's only a few left, so I'm gonna turn this up a little bit, get them unloaded and get them out of here. And that's all. Oh, hold up. Have some coming down. All right, that's all she wrote. We send the last one through the wash plant. Kicking them out the end. And that's it. Turn this thing off. We'll use it tomorrow. Clean all this off before we shut it all down for the day. Probably also go spray off all the rollers on the sorter table. But he's full. Josh is over here spraying off all the rollers. Let's see how it works. Nice and clean now. Got all the pressure now that the wash plant's off. It definitely looks a lot better. Hopefully the potatoes get better so it's not so stinking muddy. It's the mud that's fouling us up now. So the semi is gone. He tarped and left. And hopefully we'll know in the morning whether we're gonna wash more potatoes or not tomorrow. We really need to wash like 10 loads a day. Keep this thing running all day long. But I don't know, it's anybody's guess is what they're gonna do. But I have 2 more solid set lines to turn on tonight before I can go home. Well, there's the first solid set going. Now I gotta go see if the other pivots are off so I can start the other one. Well, this is the field I had to start the other solid set in, but the pivots are still going. So I gotta wait for those pivots to finish before I can start the solid set, because I can't run both off the same pump at the same time. There was not enough pressure. So, but before I go, I want to run down to the cellar and see what the pile looks like of those rotten potatoes. See what it looks like after the 2 loads they took out. See if it looks any better. I don't know. So let's go to the cellar. Well, we have some semis down here. They are loading up the good potatoes from the other side, and they're getting those hauled in. But let's go in this not so good side and see. I'll just drive the side-by-side right in there because I really don't want to go walk through it. It doesn't smell great. Oh yeah, that stinks. So it's definitely still wet and gross and rotten. It doesn't look as rotten on the sides. Just this little bit in the middle here. But definitely rotten and gross. But they've gotten quite a bit out. This morning, the potatoes were clear up to this vent. So they've cleaned out back to the next vent. So, and it actually, like, it stinks in here. And maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe all my sinus receptors or whatever are just shot. I have no idea. But it doesn't smell like my eyes aren't burning. if that's any way to judge smell. It stinks, but my eyes aren't burning, so it can't be that bad. We do have some water over here, but the good thing is there isn't water running out from underneath the pile. So that tells me that the potatoes a little bit further back, and I can see there's probably only about 5 or 6 more feet that they need to slough off, and we'll be into some better potatoes. It is still steaming though, I can see some steam up there. But it's not super hot in here. Like we've left the doors open, we've left the fan on, and it's not too terribly hot in here. Like I can hear that the fan is still on, it's still running. I'm gonna pull over here, I'm gonna go check the temperatures in the cellar on the little control panel. But it honestly doesn't look terrible. It looks bad, but it doesn't look terrible. My eyes aren't burning. Man, there's lots of ways you can judge by how bad something is. Let's go see what the temperature is. I mean, that's better than what it was the other day. The plenum temperature, that's actually, so outside air temperature is 70, plenum temperature is 67, set point's 55. So when I came in here the other day, it was probably 85 degrees, like it was hot. So the fact that it's down below 70 and it's gonna get colder, so the plenum temperature is a little hard to judge right now because we're just sucking outside air. We're sucking the air through these doors. So the plenum temperature is gonna be about the same as the outside air temperature. But tonight, it's supposed to get down to like 38 degrees. So sucking in that cold 38 degree air, blowing it into the cellar, that should really cool it down and help keep it cool. It is supposed to warm up later this week though, so I don't know what we're gonna do there. Let's go see how this other cellar looks now that they're taking these out. These ones look much better. They're actually rolling down a little bit better. This is what we wanted all of our potatoes to look like. Just a few sprouts, not much. These ones look pretty good. It looks like there's more sprouts up top, which is why it's not wanting to fall very good. And the sprouts and stuff just happens because it gets warm. This cellar does not have refrigeration. You're not supposed to hold these into summer. The processor knew that and they held them into summer anyway, because I just don't think they care. They want them to go bad in the cellar so they don't have to pay for them. And we're doing all that we can to try and keep them from going rotten. Keep them good. They have a long stick that they knock them down with. Normally they just fall, but when they're all sprouted together like this, it's a little bit harder. Well, it looks like they're starting to take a good dent out of here, which is nice. It also smells much better in here. Much, much better. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, go down below, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, make sure you get all the notifications on. If you want to join the RMF Club, fill out the form below. We'll be sending out stickers every week. And I love you. I'll see you in the next one.